Well, political parties in Singapore engaged in a dialogue with university students ahead of the upcoming general elections. Two issues dominated the discussions organised by the NUS Political Science Alumni: the need for alternative voices in Parliament and a perceived culture of fear among Singaporeans to speak on politics.
Anticipation is in the air as parties introduce their candidates. At the forum, opposition parties focus on the need for alternative voices in Parliament.
First step to take is to have elected members from non-PAP MPs in Parliament, because from there you have experience in daily governance of the town council, you have experience in policy debates and so on, and from there you will build the critical mass that is necessary for us to be an insurance for Singaporeans in case the ruling party should falter.
The next parliament will have at least 9 opposition MPs in the House following changes to the constitution. The Workers' Party and Reform Party acknowledge that while their parties have attracted new blood, they're not ready yet to form an alternative government.
Even if it takes 10, 15, 20 years, we will eventually transform Singapore into a genuine multi-party or two-party democracy.
The Singapore Democratic Party called on Singaporeans to be let back into the political process.
More than just elections. Let us have the system whereby we encourage our young people to speak up, to exercise the freedoms of speech and assembly.
The issue of speaking up and the perceived culture of fear was also discussed. The panel said this is where public education is important, for example, on the issue of the secrecy of the vote.
We are very confident that the votes are not traced because we have been following the election process for many elections already. So we actually printed out this special brochure to tell voters step by step what happens to the ballot from the time it's cast all the way until it's counted, put in the Supreme Court vault, and it's incinerated in 2 hours.
All the press are here today. Both newspapers as well as CNA. All of you are here today. And from the comments that I've heard, I don't think that there's any climate of fear. I don't hear anyone, afraid to say what they want to say, and I've heard a lot.
One student asked if there's been any fallout for the ruling party because of recent remarks made by Minister Mentor Lee Kuan Yew on the Malay Muslim community in the book Hard Truths to Keep Singapore Going.
I'm not going to say that it's all over and everything is fine. Obviously, that is not the case. But I think it's really something that each individual MP has to work at in terms of bridging that gap and, re-establishing or repairing that relationship. And, we continue to work at that.
Now, it was a packed forum attended by about 300 young Singaporeans, and by the time the dialogue started, it was standing room only, an indication perhaps of the keen interest in what the various political parties had to offer and of the issues affecting Singapore ahead of the general election.
Growing fears